Alright, so this is like my second day on a break, and in a way it's like a holiday, except I'm still in Singapore, but I'm in a really different part of Singapore because now I'm in Punggol instead of Pasir Ris. And I think all of you who know me, you will know that I really love Pasir Ris, right? So why would I possibly move from Pasir Ris to Punggol? Well, it's because of this. Yeah, and I was just observing the build-up area, the way that like the newer architecture has been constructed. They're definitely constructed with better materials, like this bridge, for instance. Yeah, and I was just saying that it really doesn't have that kind of the early 90s or late 80s vibes of like architecture. The architecture here is not built just for the purpose of functionality, it's also built for aesthetics. And so I was saying, hey, that's pretty good. I need to actually experience it. Yeah, because one of the reasons why I like to travel abroad, right, or I like to go and live abroad from time to time, is because I just appreciate architecture, and if there isn't anything like beautiful to look at on a day-to-day basis, I just get really bored. But not at this Punggol Sengkang area, like even the shape of the bridge and the materials that they use, you see the curvature in the floor. I can totally just sit here the whole day and just like admire architecture. Yeah, I'm a total architectural geek, and so. And then one of the things that I super miss is going to museums and buying their books and going back and just really plowing through like the resources to tell me what each of the artists have done for this particular work of art to be featured in the museum, etc. But you know, for me, what is better than a piece of art in a museum? Well, that's a piece of art that you can actually live and work in. And this is what I am trying to observe much more in the Sengkang Punggol area. Yeah, so just crossing the bridge. Second day of my holiday. Why is it a holiday? Well, I was just saying to my mom that I've spent so much time doing a lot of things. Hello. And I don't really have much time just being by myself, and that's why like back when I was a teacher in Changkat, I used to always like spend a lot of time like I think like twice a year or maybe 4 times a year, like going on a solo trip by myself somewhere. Yeah, so that I'm truly by myself, and then I get to reevaluate, why do I have these feelings? Why do I feel so much anger, fear? And then usually by the end of that like retreat, so to speak, it's just a few days anyway, I'll get to see things so much more clearly. Yeah, and I don't really like to waste time, actually I don't, but at the same time I realize that time wasting is really it's really subjective. Like some people think that going on walks like this or going to the museum or working as a relief teacher is a waste of time. Some people think that lah, but I don't. I think it's a different form of appreciation of life. Like I appreciate it from the ground. and I was thinking like, if there's one day will come where I really don't have anything to do already, right? I think my happiest retirement plan will be to teach at a secondary school. Yeah. So see, it's for me, teaching is not something that I'm doing for basically resources, so to speak. Like, oh, I teach so that I have money. More like I try to have money so that I can go and teach. You know what I mean? I try to accumulate enough resources so that I don't have to try to make so much money out of teaching, then I go and teach. because that's the only way you can actually get some sort of freedom when you're in the teaching service, you know. The moment you're teaching for money, right? Sad to say, I think everybody in the industry or everybody outside the industry, private sector, know this, but the work they are doing is never commensurate with the pay that you get. So you need to not rely on the job to actually make a living. There has to be multiple streams of income. I have 5 multiple streams of income, 5. So then it becomes like, I'm teaching because it's my passion. Yeah, so as I was just saying that I don't like to waste time, but then a lot of things that I'm doing that people might consider a waste of time, it's not a waste of time to me. I find it actually, ooh, look at that. It's like a vegetable garden. Let's go and see it. I should consider the things that I select to do like, on a daily basis, which is like go and explore nature, go and spend time with my son, go and read certain books, go and explore a different domain of public policy that I'm interested in. All those things are not a waste of time. Those things really help me understand humans a lot more. Hey, check it out. Wow, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is literally the first time I've been here, so anyway. Yeah, so I mean the other day I had a talk that was hosted by NLB. Then there was this lady who came and she said about how like there's like some amazing healing effect when you sort of like surround yourself by nature and particularly water bodies. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so true. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so I don't really speak and talk to a lot of people because I don't know, I just feel like there has to be some reason why I'm talking to you, and it's probably usually because I'm working with you, so I need to talk. But it's not because I have anything against you or anything, you know. It's just that since the COVID-19, I just feel like, yo, so cute. Look at that. They should introduce hydroponics. Yeah, okay, so since COVID-19, I've just been so contented to be by myself. Ooh, look at that flower, so cute. That like, it takes a lot of effort for me to go and say, hello, how are you? Can we talk about something? Oh my god, look at that. That's lady's fingers. Yeah, so, ooh, this is my favorite butterfly pea. At the very end of the day, right, I just find myself like, ooh, look at that purple thingy. Oh my god, oh, look at that. Brinjals! Okay, they're quite small, you know. I'll show you. This is my hand and this is a brinjal, small one. And these are brinjal flowers. We should totally grow brinjals in the school. Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, this is like tomato. And see, small tomatoes coming out. You know, I've been like growing tomatoes. This is a banana tree. I've been growing tomatoes at Pei Hua, which is the school I'm teaching at right now. This, if I'm not wrong, is pumpkin. I tried to grow that before. And look at that, I don't even know what it is. Some sort of a god. And that is my dear pumpkin friend. You know, I'm pretty good at growing pumpkins. And because I'm good at it, I know that this is not very healthy. Yeah, you know, I really hope that, like, in a way, we can set up like some interesting things in the school. Like, I was hoping that we can set up like an edibles farm like this, and then basically those students who are on detention, right, or those students that are like being cared for specially by the discipline committee, they all can be in charge of a particular plot of land, and they need to care for the survival of the plants. Yeah, it's very, very important. I had my godfather taught me that like when students learn to care for plants, they actually develop like ability to care for themselves also, ability to love themselves. Yeah, I think it's like something that you do externally, you get to internalize. So there's nothing better than basically having the chance to care for a plant, and if the school can provide the opportunity, and then at the end of it, right, give them the opportunity also to harvest the fruits of their labor, literal fruits, that's a compost pile, and then eat the fruit or give it away to people that they care about in school. It gives them a sense of empowerment. It gives them a sense that there's something that is happening, that they are actually being a part of. I think one of the big struggles of modern education is this, that it takes so long from the point where you enroll in school until you graduate, that for the bulk of your life you don't really have any economic contribution or anything, neither to your family nor to anybody else. So the sad thing is, if nobody is giving you any acknowledgement, right, about your contributions or like affirmation, so to speak, then look at the dog. There's a high possibility that you will end up like feeling that there's a very massive gap in your power needs lah. Your power needs are never met. As a kid, you're like always disempowered. So being able to look after a plant, okay, and being able to give back the fruits of the plant to the school, to the needy people in school, or basically you can sell it, right, and then use the proceeds to fund certain programs in the school. Hey, it really fulfills the power need, which is a very strong unmet need within children. I mean, this is something I'm very, very cognizant of, because Leonard is slowly growing up to be a teenager, and so he has a lot of unmet needs in the area of power needs, right? Like last time he's okay with doing everything I say, but now he wants to be like actively involved in it, in the decision making process. So when he comes back to me over the weekends, I always make it a point to sort of like let him have a chance to make decisions, like what do you want to do, and then negotiate with him. So at least he knows that, hey, he has the entrepreneurial spirit. he knows that whatever he like sort of suggests that, he wants to do this, he wants to do that, I will sort of support him to get it done. Likewise, like when I have crazy big ideas, like I'm gonna move from Pasir Ris to Sengkang, so I don't have to wake up so early in the morning, then I have his support also lah. He's always game for an adventure. Yeah, and I can't wait to show him this beautiful park that is in Punggol.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, like there's this thing about like also being very insulated, so insular, like, hey, look at that, there's floating islands. But I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to go back. No, but what I'm trying to say is that I was so insulated. I was like, during the COVID-19, I was just in Pasir Ris all the time, and so I was like, Pasir Ris is the best place. I don't ever want to move away from there. Even the housing prices are like so expensive. Pasir Ris, mature estate, everyone there is kind of old. But then the moment I came to Sengkang, I was like, wow, there are literally other people my age, and then there are literally other children Leonard's age. So when we go to even places like Seletar Mall, or hey, look, there's a monitor lizard. Yeah, or we come to the park and then we bump into people in the lift lobby, or in the lift, right, or at the gym. I can actually really have a conversation with them because they are at the same stage of life as me. Yeah, so as much as I feel like it's good to be grateful for what we have, I think it's also very, very important to not be insular, to take the time to explore other things, explore the insights and the discoveries that others have made. Because when others make insights and discoveries, and then you learn from those, then you actually manage to get it even though you didn't have to go through the process that they did have to go through. So when you are willing to learn, it is always better than like waiting for how should I say, waiting for life to teach you, waiting for God to teach you. Yeah, and this is really, really very important, I feel. If you want to live a happy life, if you want to live a life that you are like constantly overflowing with joy, you can do what the Bible says, like taste and see that the Lord is good. Taste and see. But you know, can you see that like tasting and seeing is something that is very active? You got to go and put it in your mouth and taste it. You got to open your eyes and see it. Taste and see that the Lord is good. So don't be passively waiting. Yeah, I'm talking to myself mostly. Like, don't be passively sitting at home scrolling through social media and hoping that your mental health improves. It doesn't. Hoping that your financial, physical health, everything will improve. It comes from actively participating in the work of God, in the will of God. So a bit like actively seeking Him and actively tasting and seeing that He's good. Alright, I hope this thing hasn't been too blur. Yeah, I'm going to cross the bridge back and then see where else this day takes me. I'm going to also explore the end of life policies that I've been so interested in ever since I joined this school, right, that I'm now teaching at. These kids lent me a book on end of life, so palliative care, and I super love it. It's called Being Mortal, and I intend to like return it to them soon. So I think I'm going to read it today so I can return it to them tomorrow. And then, yeah, I still have a book on management that my mom bought me. Yeah, I told her that I'm quite a bad manager. So, I think it's very important to like actually really face up to the fact that I still have a long way to go to learn in terms of people management. Yeah, so I am going to try to read those 2 books today. And that's how I spend my holiday. It's really like no added cost. Yeah, so just go for a walk in the park that you have never been to before. Appreciate the architecture and appreciate, you know, let your feet be your guide. Go wherever you want to go, and then reflect on what you have done between the previous long walk and this long walk. Things must have happened, things that are good, things that upset you. Just reflect on those things and then enjoy a book or 2 books if you are a fast reader. Yeah, this alone time is so important, really. I cannot emphasize on it more because I think there was this tendency in the past for me to be very chameleonish, where like I try to blend, I try to find out, if I say this, that person is gonna like me, so I'm gonna try to say it. Then I'm like, but that sort of like violates you know, the principle of like honesty, right? And honesty is a necessary ingredient in integrity. So I'm like, you know, instead of trying to say something that's diplomatic and to be liked, why don't I just keep my mouth shut if I don't really agree with this person? Is it very hard to do? Yeah, so that people pleasing nature that I used to have, trying to like completely shut it down so that I can embrace a more authentic version of myself, that I can and truly say, hey, you know, I think I did the right thing, I think I said the right thing, I think that person was really rude to me and I shouldn't stand up for it, I shouldn't let it happen, and it's okay if he doesn't like me, because I'm not here to be liked. While having to develop that kind of like you know, how should I say? I would just say like the ability to stand on my both feet and say, so be it. If you don't like it, so be it. I've said and done what I know is right. Because I do think very carefully before I do things. I don't overwhelm myself with so much work until I make mistakes all the way. I don't do things like that. I always make sure I got time to do the things I've committed to do. So be it. If you don't like me for saying that you are just wasting your time because you're not doing a good job anyway. Yeah. But the ability to actually tell people off, you know, and manage them is so difficult. I can tell you. Alright, so anyway, wow, it's already 20 minutes. Okay, this is a 20-minute video of my new adventure, my new phase of life. And I hope you all enjoyed it.